Hey guys, today I'm going to be showing you how to make an enclosed ecosystem. The first thing I do is add some aquarium pebbles to my jar to act as a drainage layer. So after I get the drainage layer in, I'm going to take this piece of plastic, which I have poked a bunch of holes in to allow the water to drain through, but the substrate to not. Now we're just going to put it there to act as a barrier between our drainage layer and our dirt. The next thing we are going to add is our dirt. I collected dirt from different places in our yard that already had microorganisms living in it, which will help bring this ecosphere to life. I personally saw some springtails hopping around in mine, and I'm sure there was other animals that I did not see. Now you can see I've added some leaf litter, which will help create more of a natural layer to the soil that you would find outside. You would find things like leaves and twigs mixed into the natural soil. And now I'm going to go ahead and start figuring out where I want to plant my different plants that I have. Here you can see me planting different plants throughout, and these were just plants that I found in the yard and pulled up. So everything in this ecosphere is from outside, so it's all from the same area and naturally would be found living together. So I decided to add some moss to it. Now this moss is not from outside, it's actually moss that you use for reptiles that I already had for my personal pets. So I decided to go ahead and take it and spread it throughout the bottom to kind of make it look more full and natural. I finally decided that these were the pieces of wood I wanted to use. I leaned a few of them together to create a place where the snails could climb, and I also added a few little pieces crumbled around on the bottom to add more of a natural feel. Kind of like if you go outside, you'll find sticks and leaves all throughout the dirt. Now is the exciting part. We get to add our living creatures. The first creature I decided to add are snails. I can find these all over where I live. They're on the bottoms of rocks, on plants, they're everywhere. So I decided to collect a few of those and add them in. They're really cute and very active, so you can see them move a lot. I kept snails before in a little container, and they bred and repopulated very fast, so they created a life cycle of old ones dying, new ones hatching, and you had a constant self-sustaining colony of snails. The second creature I decided to add was worms. I have 2 worms in there. That one decided he was going to try to escape. You can see them crawling around for a little while, and I added those clips to the end for y'all. So while y'all are watching these next few clips, I'm going to explain to y'all how this works. It has a drainage layer at the bottom that catches the water so the soil doesn't get too wet, causing root rot or possibly drowning your worms. So I sprayed this down before I shut it with all of the water that it will need for the rest of this ecosphere's life. We added it in. The water seeped down to the bottom like it would when it rained and went into the soil. It then went into the drainage layer, and after it sat for a few days, the drainage layer is then going to evaporate up to the top of the ecosphere. And since the ecosphere is closed, the water will then create condensation at the top, which will then pour back down, kind of like rain, and reset the cycle. The plants will help to put oxygen, and the living animals will help the plants from overpopulating. So this whole thing will just be a circle that should sustain itself for a long time. Here you can see me spraying down the water, and this will start the cycle of the water going to the drainage layer and then evaporating and causing condensation like I explained earlier. So I wanted to put a pretty good helping of this water in there because we needed it to sustain our ecosystem for the rest of this ecosystem's life. Now it's the moment of truth. It is when we shut this ecosphere until we decide to open it again in a few months. So now this is officially an enclosed ecosphere. So I liked the process so much of making the last one that I decided to make another one the next day. Here's the process of me making that one. I just basically followed the same steps, but in this one I added some moss that I found outside. As you can see, it has a worm and 4 snails in it. I really liked how this one turned out. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a like and subscribe to my channel.